Okay, friends and foes, this is kind of a part 2. A couple days later, after the first part that I did. Got a lot of stuff out here on the floor. Where I left off, there was some definite concerns or problems that I had. These particular manifold connectors here, they went in just fine, of course. They fit good, but I purchased extra or different separate flat face connectors, and they don't go in there. The flat face have it's a 1/4 inch body, 3/8 opening here. These, what are they called now? Bulkhead fittings here. They're the same 1/2 inch. I'll get one. Leave that in there. Show you a different one. They're 1/2 inch on both sides here. That 1/2 inch SAE, and as you can see, they fit just fine into the Pioneer style coupler, and that's what they're meant for. And that would go in here, and the extra nut there is a standoff, so that as opposed to this style without the extra nut, this one would go here, and come on, slip in there. There, finally. All right. So with two Pioneer couplers here, you can see you kind of needed one a little bit as a standoff, so that would work appropriately the way that they designed it. But because I had wanted and purchased the flat face connectors, this bulkhead fitting doesn't fit. I can't get it in there. So I contacted what's his name over there, Brett, over at Summit Hydraulics, and he was kind enough to help me figure out what to do. By the way, these adapters he had sent along with the flat face. He told me which part to buy, and they go in here just fine, but they don't fit in the bulkhead connector, and they certainly don't fit inside of these 1/2 inch holes. So this solution wasn't the right one, and Brett owned up to that and sent me some new adapters, which I'm very grateful for. And that is this device here, this adapter. So we have a 1/2 inch SAE that will go inside of the manifold, and it has the 3/8 for the flat face. And because I have made a couple of changes on my tractor, I have wanted and decided for my own stuff that I'm always going to use a male on one side and a female on the other. So here's the male, and you can see that both the female and the male here have plenty of room. I don't need the offset like we had for, that was originally designed for this side, or size, the Pioneer stuff. So I can take those off. By the way, I paid extra for the flat face, and the only real mistake was that I was sent these kind of adapters rather than the new ones that I just got, which have the 1/2 inch SAE to the 3/8 SAE. So that was a real positive here to be able to get those. I'm excited to get those installed. What I need to do though is get some hydraulic oil on those before I finish that up. And let me get some of that in here. Get that on on my finger and get those off. Alright, so I need to get some lubed up here on that O-ring, and I can set that guy back in, and then get some more going here around that O-ring and get this one in. And the next one, I don't know if that's enough. Let's get a little bit more on it here. Yep, that's better. Get that one put in. And then, oh yeah, and I gotta do those two middle ones also. So I don't have these tightened down fully yet, but we'll get it all done. So things are making sense now. I mentioned in that first portion of this video that I was confused and things didn't fit, and this is why. It's not the end of the world. You know, being nice to people is more important, and when I talked with Brett, he understood. After we talked for a while, he understood, and he apologized, and I apologized. We, you know, tried to be nice about it, and I think it worked out well. And he was really helpful to send me these correct parts, so I'm very grateful to him about that. Let's see, I got a wrench here. Maybe I should tighten this down now, since I'm here in the moment, right? Let's get these guys all in place. Oh, that one, yeah, when it's tight, it stops. There's no more going in after that. And it, of course, the instruction said in the beginning that SAE connections here, you do not need to put any pipe dope or tape, Teflon tape. So just get a little bit of hydraulic oil on the O-rings and the threads there, and that should be enough. So that's what I've done. I kind of did that in the first episode, first portion of this video, because I was using those other bulkhead adapters and they didn't fit. Pardon me, the valves didn't fit. So now that they're all greased up, okay, those are all done. Also, did I show you that I'm pretty much planning for, yeah, I did, I just showed you that one side is male, one side is female, so I'm gonna do that next here. I'm gonna make sure that these O-rings have a little bit of juice on them. Get that on. Let's do each of those female pieces first. I'll come back and get the covers on them as necessary, but right now they're just kind of in the way when you're trying to screw everything together. And so let's get some more hydraulic oil. That's not. There we go. It's a bit more, and get it on all of these at the same time. So sorry for bumping the camera. And good enough? Yep. Okay. Alright, wipe my finger off, and now I can finger tighten these here. Let's see, get the other flat face female. And last time you saw, I had that mount here on the bottom. That just gets in the way while you're trying to work with this part, so I took that off. And I'll take the wrench and tighten those guys up. Okay. If they need to be tighter than that, I'm in trouble, because that's about as tight as I'm going to be able to get them. Now let's go ahead and work with the male end. And, you know, you could put these in either direction. You know, you could have the male on this side and female on this side. I don't know that I know any better right now. I haven't decided where it's going on my tractor. That'll be an extension of this video as well, because I'm clueless as to where I'm putting it. And that's simply because there's not a lot of room when you got that cab on. And I'm going to have to figure that out as I go along. So, first step, sit inside in the warmth and do this fun part. And then later go out and try and figure out where it's going to fit. Okay, so let's see those. And use the other one. Alright, I thought I lost another one here. Brett was really good to, once I explained to him that I had 3 and 3, then he understood better what I was trying to accomplish. The kit comes with 6 of these Pioneers, and that's what he was expecting, was these females on both sides. So it wasn't straightway clear to him what was wrong. So I appreciated his willingness to listen. I had to send some pictures over and show him what I was trying to accomplish there. So Brett's a good guy to work with. I keep bumping that camera a little bit, sorry. Okay, so now I've set these guys up the way I want them. That's very pleasing. You can see here I've got these plugs in, and on this end I have these which are going to mount to the hoses. You know, I might end up wanting this side to have these adapters in them, and vice versa. Have the plugs on this end. It just really depends. I'm going to have to play around again, how I mount them, where I mount them. It's going to make a big difference, and I might have to rearrange them. But if I do, I'll make a comment about it. So, this is about ready to go. And this bracket can probably go back on here again. I don't want to. I also had another problem. Originally, the kit comes with the directions weren't very clear. The directions, that's not what I'm meaning. The website wasn't clear. It said that it came with 3 switches, and I thought that it was going to come with 3 rocker switches, but this is only 2. I hope you can see it well enough. But there's only 2 rocker switches, and there's a joystick. Well, when I bought the tractor, I got a 3rd function installed direct at the dealership, and so they put on a Kubota joystick on my joystick that's there. So I can't use that. And I really was expecting 3 of these switches. So that was kind of a problem as well. When I explained to Brett what I needed, that I was expecting this 3-way rocker switch here, he again was good enough to send me out a different switch. So now I have 3 rocker switch switch box. This is exactly what I wanted. This is going to work better for me because I already have that joystick in the way. So this is awesome. I'm really grateful for that. However, he sent me a package of valve connectors. So here's the valve. I'm going to get that one out of the way. Here's the valve. And where's the one that he sent me? Oh, here it is. What he sent me was this package. This package actually has, I better open it up and show you. hard to see through that plastic, right? So, and I've got it kind of dark in here as well, but so it came with these ends. You can see there's holes here. They obviously plug onto something, but this valve does not have a way to plug those on. In fact, this is a hole in here. I wish I had better light there. This is a hole that something plugs into, and these guys are not going to plug into them. They plug onto something, but they don't go inside of there. So obviously the wrong connector, and that wasn't his fault. He was busy trying to help me get what I needed, but you know, mistake was made and I got the wrong part. So what he's doing is he's going to send me some that's like this. This isn't the right piece. This went with the joystick, so not important. But they're going to plug in like this, right? This goes into the valve assembly right there, and that's what I need. So he's sending me those. They're on their way. They should be here in a couple of days, and then I can get back to business with this. If I have time. So I've got to find the time, but now that I got these flat face connectors connected, I am tickled, and I'm gonna get more done as the parts come in. So thanks again to Brett, and hope everybody, you know, hope this helps you out a little bit, and if it doesn't, sorry. See you later. One of the things that I did tonight also was that I reinstalled this mounting plate, and the instructions make it look like you can do it this way, or you can flip it so that this back piece is over on this side. I'll have to decide that once I figure out where I'm going to mount it. It does stick out a little bit down here because this mount is used for both the 2, the 3, and the 4-way manifold valve assembly stuff. So that's going to be something that I need to figure out if I need to use this or if I can cut it off. I think I'll probably end up mounting it like this, and I've got to decide which side of the ROPS I'm going to mount it. I think these holes right here are for the ROPS, like a U-bolt to go through. Yeah, lots more to figure out, more to come. Okay, so next part of this puzzle is the valve, and they say there's this plastic box here on the bottom, and you need to get these little I don't know, caps out. So just screwing in one of the screws to the cap, you can lift them right out, and that cap falls off, and discard that. And then this thing needs to be turned over and put on here. Obviously these little guys need to be discarded as well. Hard to get rid of them. There, had to use my mouth. That's always a great choice. Get my teeth to hold those shut, or hold onto those caps while I unscrewed it with my hand. That's always great, isn't it? So these things need some Allen wrench. So just a minute here. Set this back down. Get the Allen wrenches out. So since the others are SAE, these probably are as well. And it looks to be somewhere around, what do you think, maybe I think this one says it's a 9/64. And yeah, that's the right size. Okay, good. Are they even in there? Are they close? Am I in the right spot? It feels about right. I was told not to thread them, or the videos I saw said don't try and force thread them. If they don't go in, you might have them wrong. So I just barely tighten those a little bit. Drop these two in. Yeah, they're all going in about the same length. So I think that I have them correct. And you know, does it matter which side is what? It doesn't say exactly there. I mean, like on top of the valve, and yeah, it doesn't say in the instructions if there's a specific direction to go either. But it does say to torque those to 2 foot-pounds. I'm not going to get to that tonight, so I'll just tighten them a little bit here. And that way I'll know that they aren't going to fall off. Cool. That's the first one. And those are the screws for it. Here's the valve not unwrapped, but wrapped. You know, I haven't taken that part off yet. They've had oil in them a little bit, so they're a little greasy. They're not bad. Just be aware. And I have to get some screws out to get those caps out. This time I'm not going to use my teeth. That's a wise idea not to do that. My dentist will be mad at me if I break teeth. Well, that's not working as easily as the other one did, but I'll get it. Okay, now let's try this side. Yeah, that one came out. So, just got a difficult one over here. If I screw it in a little bit further. That didn't work. There we go. And now I'm going to keep these the same direction. I don't know which direction is right or wrong, but I'm going to keep them that way, and if I need to change them later, I'll sure do that. Let's see, they go. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I'm supposed to make sure the P goes up against this side. That's what they said, right? Okay, so there's a... I'll turn it the right way so you can see it. There's a P right in here. And that has to go on that other bolt, that end. So, now that makes sense. Hey, I did it right, the first one. Good for me. And I'm not sure how to get that aligned very well. Looks like I'm close. Yeah, that feels good. Okay. Put that one in a little bit. Just kind of go across here. Ding. Alright. Again, I'm just going to barely tighten them up so that I'm comfortable with them not coming loose very quick, and I can do the foot-pounds at a later time, even once it's probably mounted to the tractor. I could make sure that they're connected properly. You don't want the hydraulics coming loose, do you? So hydraulic pressure is probably not a good thing to leave untorqued. Awesome, dude. Okay, now let's get the other one out. screws out there. Get the valve out here. Do the same thing and get these little plugs out here. Kind of hard to do it with the limited space I've got trying to film it. Sorry, you saw the first one, so you can see you know what I'm doing. And the first one's out. Get that second plug. Okay. Second plug is out. The cardboard piece is off. The P is on this end, which is supposed to go up here by that hole where the screw's pointing, that extra hole right here. So plop that down. Get a couple of these in so that I can get it lined up with a hole below. And they're in. Okay. This is a huge thing, man. This is certainly not some small little kit. This is substantial with the heavy steel plate, the manifold body, the couplers for the flat face couplers, and then these valves. My goodness. They really knew how to put this together, didn't they? This is serious work. Alright. I think they're all on for now. Okay. Whew. Tough work, guys, but somebody's got to do it. I vote me. I'll do it. Oh, good jubies here. Alright, so the next part in the instructions are talking about the pressure lines, pressure and return PNT lines. So that's where my installation is really going to come into its own. So I have the BX23S, and I bought it because I wanted the backhoe, so that means I have the backhoe. So I have the backhoe, and I have the cab, right? So both of those things are going to get in the way of this whole big giant unit you have in front of you. So where am I going to mount this unit, and then how am I going to get these two lines back here connected? These two guys, they've got to hook into the what do they call that? Beyond port, something in power and beyond. But with the backhoe, you want to make sure that you have a way to connect all of this into where the backhoe stuff goes, and then still have the ability to use the backhoe. And of course, the backhoe has to attach and plug in. Killin' It Country had done an excellent video on. He has a what is it? Is a 25D, I believe, and he showed the connections that he did from his backhoe into here, so he can still put his backhoe on and off while leaving these guys connected. Oh, once I saw that, I was like, brilliant. I was like, okay, now I know I can use this Summit Hydraulics kit and do the same thing, because the way you hook those up to the backhoe hydraulics, and then the backhoe hydraulics can plug into its normal process there, was excellent. So I'm really tickled. But while I'm looking at this right now, I'm thinking I might have to change these flat face connectors, right? Maybe I should put these males up here and these females down here, because now that these valve bodies are on there, that's going to be a little bit more trouble without much clearance in there. I guess you guys can see there. Just a tiny little bit of clearance. There's certainly enough. But, nah, I might want to put... that's a tough choice. But I think I might want to put those males up here. So, I don't know if I'll do that on or off camera, but I'm not going to do it right now. So, I've got some other things I needed to get to, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Alright, so I did decide to take these off camera, and I'm going to put the females on this other end. I've got it upside down right now if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I'm going to put these males closer here to the valve bodies. I didn't want to take them off again, but I'm going to put that there. It's going to make it a little nicer to get some clearance on those. But with these valves on, it also makes it just a hair bit harder to tighten them down here. Oh, and I should have also mentioned on Killin' It Country, he was installing a dump trailer. So he had gone out and bought some parts and pieces, I think he said, from Princess Auto for his hydraulic setup. Did that pretty much himself. But he was trying to hook that up so he could have a dump trailer on the back of his tractor. And so you go watch that episode. Maybe I'll try and link to it. But and he did not use the Summit. But the important part for me was just seeing that he got his backhoe hooked up, and that really was the clincher for me. I want my backhoe hooked up, and I want all these things to work. It'd be awesome if I can get things like a hydraulic thumb on the backhoe, and I have a top link, hydraulic top link that I'd like to get installed so that I can take my my box blade and work that, you know, easily, and be able to get. I've got some property that sorry, I'm kind of thinking and talking and working here. Alright, there. So I have some property that I'd like to grade, and so I've got a box blade, and that's where I want to use this top link so that I can tilt the box blade back and forth and grade it easier without having to get out so often. And because with that cab, I love the cab, but with that cab, darn it, it's a hassle, and I have to get in and out. You know, those doors open so that they swing, they hinge on the back of the door and swing open it, so you're at the front of the door where you're getting out. You know, unlike cars, they're opposite of most cars, and that makes it challenging to get out and then go around to the back. So you got to go around the door and around to the back, and then once you're at the back, then you make whatever adjustment you want in your top link, and then you go back around the door and back into the cab and shut your door and start, and you realize, hey, wait a minute, that's not quite what I wanted. So then you have to stop and open the door and get out of the door and around the door and around to the back. You know, it's the problems of a first world, or what do they say, that's the first world problems. And so I don't want to complain and act like my life is terrible, because it's not. But that's a hassle I'd rather not have to deal with. So this is going to help me with that in particular, and other things. Like I say, it'd be awesome to be able to just plug into this and control a hydraulic thumb as well on the backhoe. I currently have the expanded thumb on it, and it shouldn't be difficult to simply replace the mechanical part with a hydraulic piece, and away you go. So I've seen somebody do that. Whether or not I get around to it soon is a different story, but so now that you see this guy, I now have it correct, and you can see I've got a lot more room up in here now. I'm hoping once the female, sorry, let me get that in view. Once the female goes over this, then maybe it'll be easier to get that off than these up on this part. So that'd be awesome if I can get, if that will work correctly the way I want it to. If not, I'll have to change them around again, but such is life. And I need to probably tighten these down, but I'm a little concerned with tightening these until I decide where I'm going to mount it on the tractor. So pretty cool, eh? I'm excited. More to do. See ya.